Hello, everybody. My name is Kim Duff, and I am the principal at Kings Heath Primary Academy. I'm delighted to be able to present to you today with regards a different approach to school wellbeing with the introduction of a school dog. So here is Kobe Duff. He is our family pet, but he is also Kings Heath Primary Academy school dog, and he is now 6 months old. Today, I'm going to go through the three key aims. I hope to inform you the impact on pupils, staff, and school as a whole. I will be sharing the pros and cons of having a school dog, as well as sharing a step-by-step guide to successfully help you introduce a school dog. So the story behind a school dog, I'd ummed and ahed with the prospect of getting a school dog for many, many years. And it was only recently in June 2020 that our eldest son really upped his ambition to have a family dog, and actually found Kobe. So in September 2020, we were delighted to be able to go and meet Kobe for the first time. And in November 2020, he came home and he entered his dual life of being our family pet and Kings Heath Primary Academy's school dog. And I'm delighted to say that actually today in March, that Kobe is a established school staff member at Kings Heath Primary and much loved. However, this would not have been possible without Sandra Appleby, who was a step ahead of myself in terms of getting a school dog for her own school at Greenfields Primary School. So Sandra is the head there and introduced Maeve probably about 6 months before we launched Kobe. But Sandra has been there every step of the way, guiding me, advising me, sharing all of her paperwork. So Sandra, thank you so much, because Kobe wouldn't have been a possibility without you making me realise it was possible. So why a school dog? Now, at school, we are amazing at promoting physical hygiene. You know, our pupils are excellent at, especially in these times, abiding by the hand sanitisation rules that we have, respiratory hygiene that we are really keen to promote, and we ensure our children look healthy. But emotional hygiene, I was finding, was more of a sideline. It's something that we really try to promote every day in school. But I was finding, unless you had a really skilled teacher who was just naturally in tune with her or his emotions, then it was always sort of coming second place to physical hygiene. Now, if you follow the Dalai Lama, he promotes emotional hygiene constantly, and he's full of these type of words of wisdoms. You know, emotional hygiene has to come first. We have to teach our children that they're going to have positive and negative emotions, yet we can teach them the strategies to overcome those negative emotions and even enhance those positive emotions. So, School Dog for me is a way of bringing positive emotional hygiene right to the top of the agenda and part of our everyday school life and everyday school conversations. Let's get straight to the impact. So the impact in early years has been stark, and it's no surprise that they are going first in my PowerPoint today. So here you will see Kobe sitting in a nursery where we have 2, 3, and 4 year olds. He has been booked out by his class teacher, Mrs. Badger Jones, who is introducing Kobe to the children. So you can see they're sat there beautifully, ensuring Kobe has the space he deserves, making sure they are empathetic to his needs in terms of his sensory needs and not being too loud and giving him the space that he requires. But also, they demonstrated great empathy to each other. Some of them had never met a dog before and were therefore slightly fearful. So they were able to help each other and encourage one another to become more and more confident around Kobe. And the display that you can see in the third image is the immediate impact following that session that Kobe had on the class. And one of the highlights for all of us was that a little boy who was non-verbal was being assessed down our SEND pathway. We reached out to multi-agencies to ensure this little boy had the help he needed for his communication needs. However, after this session, the little boy uttered 3 words of dog love soft. Now, that was just amazing. And if you need any evidence of impact on younger children of a school dog, that is a wonderful one to use. There's also a video there for you to look at in your own time. I'm conscious I've only got 10 minutes, but in that video, you'll hear the laughter and the joy of the children who are in utter awe of Kobe when he visits their classroom. Now, the impact on Key Stage 1. So you'll see their teacher or the Key Stage 1 lead, Mrs. Ulrich, in my first image. We're having a meeting about Read, Write, Ink, and Kobe will just quite often go and sit with the staff members. They'll be chatting away. We'll be doing, talking about something highly strategic, but whilst petting the dog. And it just has such a calming influence on anyone who's around Kobe. Obviously, if staff members are not too confident or would rather Kobe didn't go near them, then we fully respect their wishes and ensure that doesn't happen. Also, in Key Stage 1, we have another example where we have a little boy who's autistic and he likes things just so. He's very high functioning, but likes his order. But his sensitivity often gets overlooked, or it doesn't get the opportunities to shine in a positive way. And this little boy now is known within his class as someone who is able to connect with Kobe on a level not all children can, because he's so in tune with the dog's needs without any words being spoken. And as a result, his self-esteem has rocketed, and it's just wonderful to see. And that's transferred into his academic learning too. Also at break time, Key Stage 1 are able to come up to Kobe. He's in his crate in the third image, absolutely shattered after Key Stage 1 had come up to play with Kobe during break time. But it's just brilliant because Kobe becomes a very content and happy dog as a result, but also the children go off to their next lesson, which is maths in our case, full of happiness and joy. And that transfers into their learning and their engagement and contribution to the class. And then you can see Kobe's visiting year 1 in the final image. So this is really important. On my walks around the school frequently, I will take Kobe with me. I will be ensuring our provision is top notch and helping staff where they need and engaging with the children. But during that time, I also use that as an opportunity to educate children as to the expectations that we have of Kobe in terms of sitting, not jumping or not licking. So it's great for them to see his development too. In Key Stage 2, so the impact again just continues. So the first image is of a little boy who is actually in year 6, not so little, and he was struggling to settle into life at King's Heath. He'd only just joined us at the start of the year, and it was a real battle for him. However, the day we got Kobe, it all changed. He is now a pet ambassador. He doesn't miss a day's education. He comes to school full of joy because he cannot wait to touch base with Kobe. And this is him giving Kobe his Christmas present. And look at the friends all around him. And, this little boy who didn't have any friends, who didn't have that social connection. And as a result of his connection with Kobe, that's been respected. And there he is, engaging with them all. Wonderful to see. And then in the middle picture, you have our pet ambassadors, and they are taking Kobe for his little morning walk. And you can just see the joy and the laughter on their faces and how well behaved Kobe is, which they are demanding from him. And then in year 5 is the final picture. You'll see the children are busy working away. And having a school dog, I think one of the biggest myths is it causes a distraction. Really, really doesn't. It actually improves focus and attention. And there's another video there for you to look at where some year 6 girls are training Kobe to sit and lie. So the wider impact, I've mentioned break times already, and you'll see he's in my office there having some lessons from the year 6 pet ambassadors. And we also go for the daily mile walks, and Kobe's also out at break time, lunchtime, which enables the children to have some contact with him. It also improves the calmness out in the lunchtime in the playground, because they're aware Kobe will get scared if they're too loud. I've mentioned briefly that we have pet ambassadors. So this was a huge success. We had 120 children from across the whole school apply to be a pet ambassador. They had to fill in the application form. They had to get a reference from a parent, carer, or a class teacher as to why they would be good. And then they were interviewed, and you can see the interviews take place. And the pet ambassadors take their role so importantly. They are in charge of Kobe's water, his food, making sure he gets that mental stimulation through play, as well as helping me take him for his many walks. So why does all this work? Why is the school dog so successful? And I was doing a bit of research, and actually our early years lead sent me this quote. And I think it's really, really important. Love really is the supreme form of communication, and it is superior to any other need we have as humans. And we've seen that because the children have such a strong connection, an emotional connection with baby, that actually that's helped them conquer so many of their fears, made them realize that actually they can do anything if they believe in themselves. And it's been a joy to watch. Now, there are pros and cons. I've hopefully covered all the pros through my examples, but the cons, top of the list, when I asked all staff, what are the cons? And they said it's the bowel movements. They can be unpredictable. So we're all set up, we're ready. It's getting a bit older as Kobe gets older, but I think it'd be an advantage if you had a more mature dog who was able to have those predictable bowel moments. Managing workload around the responsibility of looking after a school dog can ultimately be really challenging. So one way I've set to help myself manage that is that one of our administrators, who is an absolute dog lover, is always on call for me to share the care and responsibility of Kobe when I'm in school or have meetings. Making sure that pupil, parents, staffers are really, really respected. So we have a very clear protocol which I can share with anybody who would wish that at a later time. And as well, making sure you know which pupils are not allowed near your school dog due to either fear or their allergies, and making sure everyone is aware of that. And the initial paperwork, it does take time, but once you get going, you soon complete it all. The pros continue, and I do hope I have mentioned most of them. But the utter joy a school dog can bring to a school community is brilliant. It really pulls everybody together. There is a sense of sharing, a sense of belonging, and it is just such fun. Now, the processes are quite intense, but once you get your methodology, it soon goes by. So this these steps would be my top tips, having done this journey before. I have all the paperwork ready to share if you so wish, to introduce a school dog within your own school. But I will let you read that all in your own time. And make sure your website has a little section dedicated to your school dog. You want everybody visiting or looking to join your school to be aware that a school dog is your feature. We see it as a USP, and actually a positive USP and not a negative one. So, without further ado, if you are thinking of exploring the introduction of a school dog, please, please do get in touch. My number, email, and Twitter feed are all there. Please just pick up the phone. I've decided to do this presentation today because since getting Kobe, well, I've had 3 head teachers email me for details. So I think there's a thirst out there for more school dogs within schools. Thank you ever so much and enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.